Welcome to our credit module brought to you by Financial Wellness. This is a condensed version of what you need to know about credit moving forward as a freshman. So let's get started. We all know American consumers use credit to buy basically everything: food, clothing, housing, transportation. And as young credit users, how we view and understand credit has been shaped by the experiences of our parents, our mentors, and our friends. Often that fear is passed on, and because those folks have made their own mistakes, they're a little bit wary. But with a bit of knowledge, we can develop healthy credit histories, and we can never overpay for an item in our life. Let's get started. So what is credit? It's essentially a loan. I like to think if I had a friendly local store that let me set up a tab. So every time I went to go buy groceries, they just added the amount to a very long list. And then at the end of the month, I'd come in and pay one large bill. And they'd let me start a new tab for the next month because based off my history, they know I'm going to pay them back. This is essentially credit. We receive something of value now and we promise to pay for it later. Your credit score is a number between 300 to 850 that indicates the level of risk you are as a borrower. How likely are you to pay back the money they loaned you? So above 800 means you're an A+ trustworthy student, and a score of 300 is closer to you needing to retake the class. Let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to cover the two most important categories in how they calculate your score. And coming in at number one is credit history, making up 35% of your score. And it's just keeping track of how you're repaying the money you've been lent. Are you paying your car loan on time? Are you paying your student loans on time? Do you pay your credit card on time? Do you pay your mortgage on time? So your credit card is going to essentially tattle on you when you've been late, when you've been 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days late. And they're going to let your credit report know that you've missed a payment. So the tip would be, if you ever forget to pay anything, always call your creditor and tell them that you are a student who is new to using credit and ask if they can forgive your mistake. If they agree, request an email with written confirmation that they will remove the negative mark on your report. This does not always work, but it is always worth trying. And also, forgetting to pay your bills stays on your report for 7 years. I like to consider what I might want to do in 7 years, and there's no way that I'm going to let my actions today limit my options later. All right, next up is credit utilization, which makes up 30% of your score. So it's the second most important category in your credit score. So your utilization is how much of your available credit do you use. The less that you use, the more responsible you look. I was paying my card on time and in full each month, but my score wasn't budging, and that's because I didn't know that anyone cared how much I put on my card or how much I was using. It's actually recommended to use less than 30% of your available credit, and in fact, folks with credit scores over 800 only use about 11%. So let's do an example. We have a card with a $1,000 credit limit, then we wouldn't want to charge more than $300 at any point. And if you do, you'll want to pay it off right away. Over time, if we are responsible, more credit will be lent to us, and our limits will increase, allowing us to charge more monthly to a card. So obviously, creditors want you to carry a balance. In other words, not pay off your card monthly, because that's how they make money off of you. They get to charge you interest, which then, if you don't pay the next month, they get to charge you interest on your whole bill again, and then interest on your interest. You can see why debt piles up so quickly. So this is your friendly reminder, one student to another. If you've built up a balance, it may be time to chop that card up or delete Apple Pay off your phone until you feel more financially stable. This happens to all of us, so don't beat yourself up. And overall, by only charging a little bit to your card and always paying it off monthly, you'll help your credit score increase and you won't help the credit card company get rich. We're going to push through these pretty quickly, and if you have any questions or you need help, just make an appointment with us with one of our peer coaches for personalized, helpful tips on how to build your credit. So first off, we have open a secured card or a student card. These are two cards that are accessible for students and for folks who have lower credit ratings. The way a secured card works is you give the credit card company a lump sum, let's say $300, then they give you a card to use with a $300 limit. If you don't pay your card, they use your money to cover the balance. If you show them that you are responsible, they will eventually upgrade your card and they'll give you back the collateral or $300 they're holding on to. The second one is the student credit card. It helps to have a part-time job and to have good grades. And these cards are designed for folks in school who don't have a long credit history. All right, another way to build credit is to enlist a cosigner. This would be a parent or trusted family member. These folks may be rightfully hesitant to do this because they will be responsible for your actions. Whatever you do on your credit will affect them. Another way would be to be an authorized user. So similarly, you would need to find someone you really trust because now their behavior can directly impact your score. The benefit of the authorized user is you don't even need to use the card. So if you are feeling freaked out about credit, but you have a very, very responsible person in your life, they can help you get started. Next up, we have student loans. If you have a federal student loan, consider making the interest payments while you're in school. This helps you lower your balance so you're ready when you graduate and helps build your credit. And here is the biggest tip. No matter what card or loan you take out over the course of your life, set up auto payment. This doesn't mean that you don't need to check on your card or monthly because things happen, banks lose information, or maybe a payment gets denied, but it will reduce the possibility that negative marks will be sent to your report. So I have a question for you. Do you want to cheat the system? Do you want to use your card for free and get all the benefits and the rewards and build that credit? Well, let's visualize how you can do that. This student spent $1,500 on their card and their statement balance period was between March 1st and March 31st. So initially I thought that I was supposed to pay my credit card bill at the very end of the month or my period, but in fact, you're given a grace period. So it's going to be different depending on the card. But in this case, it's 21 days. So if I pay my card anytime before that due date, I won't be charged interest and I won't be charged a late fee. So here's a tip. You can pay off your card as often as you'd like. There's no penalty. If you're a new credit user, consider paying it off weekly so you can keep an eye on your spending and keep that utilization score low, of course. Great job. So we paid off March, way to go, and the process continues. So now it's April and we've spent another $1,000 and that will be due dead in the water on May 21st. So here's another tip. Paying the minimum amount is a trap. It's made up of mostly interest on your charges and only a tiny, teeny little bit of your original bill. So obviously, if you're in a position where you bought more than you can afford, then at least make your minimum payment. So this does not apply to you. This is going to prevent a negative mark on your report. But for everyone else, do not overpay. All the goods and services you bought from the month prior will be 25% more expensive if you're charged interest. Use your card for free and build that credit and don't let them take advantage of you because you got this. You don't need a fancy degree and you're already curious and you're learning more than the others around you. So just keep it up.